Welcome back to the Ascendants in Vedic Astrology series, and today we'll be talking about Aquarius Ascendant. Now, if you don't know what an ascendant is or rising sign is, then your ascendant is basically the sign that was rising in the east and at the time of your birth, and the ascendant changes every couple of hours in Vedic astrology. And another term in Vedic astrology for the ascendant or the rising sign is called the lagna, which means that which has been screwed into place or mounted. This means that at the time of your birth, the positioning of the planets and the constellations in the sky, as they shine down on you, basically mounts your individual personality, past life karma, your passions, your soul desire, your family life, your career, and all that good stuff into place. And it provides like a roadmap of your entire life. So it's a really cool thing to know. So, if you'd like to know about your ascendant and the other things within your birth chart, then you can get an astrology reading from me at vincent.thunderwizard.com, and we will talk about your basically what that includes is your ascendant, which is what we're talking about today, your sun sign, your moon sign, your Ishta Devata, your Dharma Devata, your Palana Devata, and what those are basically planets or deities that want to work with you to bless you, and they're basically very specific things within your chart. They're calculated by specific placements within your chart, and so yeah, those are great things to know, as well as you'll be getting your own personalized mantra and ritual for the planets or deities that want to work with you. And then you'll get your Aruda Lagna, your spiritual name, your lucky gemstone, or a gemstone that works well with the planets that want to help you in your chart, and things like that. So it's really great reading, and it'll be it's just $108, so it's not too bad, not too pricey. And yeah, it's really full of practical things that will help you practically in your life and stuff. So it's great for spiritual development and things like that. And so now we'll talk about Aquarius Ascendant. Let's get into that. So Aquarius Ascendants are rebellious, worldly, eccentric, scientific. They like discovering the world and learning how nature works through science. They make great astrologers because of their worldly curiosity and scientific thinking. Pisces in the second house. So that's basically a little bit about Aquarius, is that they're, rebellious, worldly, eccentric, scientific. They like discovering like the world. They'd be very into like nature shows and things like that, and discovering how the world and nature works through scientific thinking. So it's a pretty cool sign. Pretty cool ascendant there. So now we'll look at the 12 houses, the other 11 houses within the birth chart. And so if we have Aquarius Ascendant, then we have Pisces in the second house. So we have Pisces in the second house, and Pisces is things like spirituality And the second house is things like money, work, income, daily routines, values, priorities, habits, and work ethic. And someone with this placement may come from a spiritual family. It also shows like their inheritance or their family values, kind of thing like that. Things like that. So, they may come from a spiritual family, or their father could be a spiritual leader, an artist, a healer, something eccentric like that. And then we have Aries in the third house, which is Aries is things like taking action. It's very active, very dominant, very energetic sign. And then we have the third house, which is communication, thinking, siblings, social activities, neighbors, and early education. So someone with this placement is very like, they're very direct and aggressive in their communication. They're very to the point, very blunt, very direct, and can be aggressive in their communication. Their relationship with their siblings may be very good, but bad. It could be good or bad, just depending on how Mars is placed in their chart. So if Mars is excelled, then their relationship with their siblings will probably be okay. Like they'll like to go out and do some activities, and like mountain biking or climbing or just sports with their siblings and things like that. Very active, and that's very active and that's very constructive. But their relationship with if Mars is in a bad place, then it can hurt their relationship with their siblings. It can make things hostile. It can make things, violent and unpleasant, basically. So, moving on to Taurus in the fourth house. Taurus is what you value, and the fourth house is home, mother, foundations, family, emotions, and self-care. And someone with this placement may have a beautiful home, like especially after they get married. Their childhood home. Well, their childhood. That could be anything, but they'll especially want like a nice, big, beautiful, luxurious, like really nice home after they get married. And because Venus is in this place, or Venus rules Taurus. So, but during their childhood, their relationship with their mother may be strained, due to feeling lack of nourishment. And why is this? Because the fourth house, Moon naturally rules the fourth house, and Venus rules Taurus, and the Moon and Venus are not don't get along so well, so that's why that is. So there may be some strained feelings towards the mother, and feeling like lack of nourishment. So then we have Gemini in the fifth house. And Gemini is things like communication, commerce, things like that. And the fifth house is romance, play, creativity, fertility, joy, self-expression, and drama. And so someone with this placement will have a good education. They'd make a good author or screenwriter. They have very good community. They have a very good communicative, artistic, and clever children. So because this is the house of children, and Gemini is here, you'll see like very talkative children, or just a very good relationship with the children there. So that's a good sign. So then we're moving on to Cancer in the 6th house. And Cancer is emotions. 6th house is health. 6th house is health. I can't talk today. Health, fitness, pets, work habits, organizations, usefulness, and service. And Cancer is the emotions. So someone with this placement may have ups and downs when it comes to their health, fitness, work, and even enemies, because Moon rules Cancer. So and the Moon naturally like waxes and wanes. It's always changing and shifting. So that's why there's like these ups and downs with and it's connected to the emotions too. So someone with this placement may overeat when they're feeling emotional, and that might affect their health. And they might not work out when they're feeling emotional, so that'll affect their health again. So it's just this very watery placement here with Cancer in the 6th house. Okay, so moving on, we have Leo in the 7th house. And Leo is self-expression. And the 7th house is relationships, marriage, contracts, business partners, equality, and sharing. And so, someone with this placement may look for a spouse who boosts their ego. And why is this? Because Sun rules Leo, and Sun is like the ego. This is a representation of the ego, the self-expression, things like that. So yeah, they'll like to. Someone with this placement would want like a spouse who builds them up and boosts their ego and stuff like that. They also like someone who they can show off to the world, like a trophy wife or a trophy husband. Their spouse may be politically connected, because again, Sun has their correlation to royalty or government. They may be creative or artistic even. And so Virgo in the 8th house, Virgo is analytical. And the 8th house is birth, death, sex, transformation, merging energies, shared finances, inheritance, assets, property, real estate, and joint ventures. So someone with this placement will be very thoughtful, very calculative, very detail-oriented about their joint assets, investments, things like assets, finances, real estate, property, finances, and things like that. And so then we have Libra in the 9th house, and Libra is balance. That pretty much sums up what Libra is about, balance. And the 9th house is international travel, wisdom, philosophy, religion, higher education, foreign cultures, and learning. And so someone with this placement will be quite balanced in their philosophy, in their religious views, and their higher learning. However, Venus placement will affect their interest in religion and the occult, because if Venus is badly placed, then then they'll want to go like towards the darker religious or philosophical stuff, and that'll be like that'll be more like the hidden, like occult kind of stuff. And that's why I say they may be drawn to the occult with a bad Venus placement. And they're also, with the bad Venus placement, they'll feel this lack of like nourishment from their religious or philosophical views, or connection to their religion or things like that. And so with that, they'll be even more drawn into participating in religious activities or spirituality or philosophy, and even in higher education too. So it's a interesting sign there. So then we have Scorpio in the 10th house. Now, Scorpio is transformation, and the 10th house is career, long-term achievements, status, reputation, public image, fame, fathers, and experts. So, with this placement, and Scorpio also represents like dark things, like secrets and secret emotions, like our deep down emotions, like the things that we wouldn't want to tell anybody else. We just keep them like bottled inside, that kind of stuff. So that Scorpio is that kind of stuff. So someone with this placement may secretly be jealous of other people's success, because this is the house of success. This is the house of career, long-term achievements, status, reputation, public image, all that good stuff. And so someone with this placement will be, or maybe, jealous of other people's success. They may self-sabotage when it comes to getting a promotion or a raise, and because it's like Scorpio is like our limiting self kind of thing. And remember, it's a Scorpion, so when it tries to go after, when it tries to go fight another Scorpion or whatever, it can inadvertently sting itself and, die of its own poisoning. So that's why I say that self-sabotage is a big thing with Scorpio. Scorpio in the 10th house. So it's interesting. Alrighty, so also they do well as a journalist or a private investigator, or someone who works in the media also, because again, they have a lot of energy in Aries in the 3rd house, and so they could do well in communication and media and all that good stuff. So yeah. So then we have Sagittarius in the 11th house. And Sagittarius is things like philosophy, religion, wisdom, higher education, things like that. And the 11th house is groups, friends, humanitarianism, technology, the future, and hopes and wishes. So someone with this placement may have a highly intelligent, well-educated, or philosophical friends. Like their friends will be very like smart, very well-to-do, like very educated, maybe very religious, depending on depending on their specific chart. But yeah, it's an interesting placement for sure. And depending on Jupiter's placement, they may become wealthy, because this is the house of utopian desires, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So it's an interesting placement. It could do well. They could do very well financially, depending on how Jupiter is placed. So then we'll move on to Capricorn in the 12th house. Now, Capricorn is hard work. I think that just about sums it up pretty well. It's ruled by Saturn, so it's, one of the more difficult signs or signs in the zodiac. So, yeah, and then so Capricorn is hard work, and then the 12th house is spirituality, healing, solitude, karma, the afterlife, the unconscious mind, things like that. And so someone with this placement may not like to travel. The reason for this is that so Pisces, or well, I should say the 12th house is like, the 12th house is giving away your energy, and it's also like solitude, so, or like being away from home, pretty much. So when these people are away from home, they feel like their energy is being drained. So that's why that is. So they might not like to travel. They may be sleep deprived, because again, Pisces is, or 12th house is things like sleep and things like that. So, and remember, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn restricts. So it'll restrict spirituality, restrict sleep, restrict things like that. So, and they might feel like a roadblock in their spiritual connection. Again, because Saturn restricts, so it's going to restrict their spiritual connection. So, if you would like a Vedic Astrology reading, go to vincent.thunderwizard.com right there. And to discover more about your chart, go there. And remember that the kind of reading that I give you is more based in practicality and things that you can actually use in a physical way, like the mantras. I know when I learned my mantra, it really helped me to become consciously aware of my self-sabotage, of my unconscious issues and things like that. So it's a really helpful Vedic astrology reading that will give you some useful and practical tools to help you grow in your spirituality, in your psychological development, in your spiritual development, and in dealing with your emotions that you've been repressing and things like that. And remember, emotions are just trapped. Trapped emotions are just trapped energy, because energy is emotions, basically. And so that develops as that can develop as disease in your body too, because emotions need to be expressed and stuff like that, and get out of your body, and be felt. That's their whole desire, is to be felt, to be expressed, to be healed, basically. And so once you can open up to those and feel those, then you can really start healing yourself, basically. So it's a powerful thing. So vincent.thunderwizard.com to go get an astrology reading. It's really helpful. So with that, I will talk to you guys later. Peace. Have a good day, guys. We'll talk to you later.